The mainstream media's relentless coverage of global warming has led many to wonder if there's more to the story than meets the eye. While climate change is undoubtedly a pressing issue, the motivations behind the media's fervent push to convince us of its urgency are not entirely altruistic. It appears that the mainstream media, along with other powerful entities, have a vested interest in controlling the narrative and manipulating public opinion on this matter. One of the primary reasons for this is the immense power and influence that comes with achieving public perception. By creating a sense of urgency and panic around global warming, the media can dictate the terms of the conversation and set the agenda for policymakers and business leaders. This, in turn, allows them to shape the direction of the global economy, dictating which industries will thrive and which will be left behind. The media's narrative on global warming is, therefore, not just about raising awareness of a critical issue, but also about exerting control over the global agenda. Furthermore, the media's obsession with global warming has created a lucrative industry, with countless organizations, think tanks, and consultancies springing up to capitalize on the trend. The sale of carbon credits, green technologies, and sustainable products has become a multi-billion-dollar market, with many companies seeking to profit from the perceived need to reduce our carbon footprint. The media's propaganda machine has been instrumental in creating this market, convincing us that our very survival depends on adopting these products and practices. By perpetuating the myth that we must drastically alter our lifestyles to combat global warming, the media has created a captive audience for these businesses, ensuring a steady stream of revenue for years to come. Another factor driving the media's propaganda campaign is the desire to reshape the global political landscape. By emphasizing the need for collective action to combat climate change, the media is, in effect, advocating for a more centralized and authoritarian form of governance. This is evident in the constant calls for global cooperation and international agreements to address the issue. The media's narrative on global warming has become a Trojan horse for a broad agenda, one that seeks to erode national sovereignty and individual freedoms in the name of a perceived greater good. By convincing us that our actions are threatening the very survival of the planet, the media is able to justify the imposition of draconian measures such as carbon taxes, green regulations, and even restrictions on our personal freedoms. In addition, the media's focus on global warming has also been used to distract us from more pressing issues such as economic inequality, social injustice, and government accountability. By dominating the headlines with sensationalized stories about climate change, the media is able to divert our attention away from the real problems that need to be addressed. This is particularly evident in the way that the media has ignored or dampened other critical issues, such as the ongoing erosion of civil liberties, the rise of authoritarianism, and the growing wealth gap between the rich and the poor. By keeping us fixated on the specter of climate change, the media is able to maintain a sense of control over the narrative, ensuring that we remain focused on the issues that serve the interests of the powerful, rather than those that threaten their dominance. In conclusion, the mainstream media's propaganda campaign on global warming is not just about raising awareness of a critical issue, but about exerting control over our perceptions, our economy, and our politics. By shaping the narrative on climate change, the media is able to dictate the turns of the conversation, create new markets and industries, and justify the imposition of authoritarian measures. It is essential that we remain critical of the media's narrative and seek out alternative sources of information, lest we become complicit in our own manipulation. By doing so, we can begin to uncover the truth behind the media's propaganda campaign and start to build a more informed, more nuanced, and more equitable world.